my face. Get out of my face. And just get out of mine. You know those people that always got something to say. And either way I don't care, keep talking anyway. Blah 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 blah. I think that's enough. You know damn well you're talking out of your ass, and I'm calling you bluff. You keep pushing me, and now I'm pushing you back. No, you're not gonna deal me a hand when the deck is stacked. Oh no, 'cause we don't care. No, we don't care. I said we don't care anymore. Wait a minute, anybody else see what I see? All these people trying to control me. Blah blah blah, you talk too much and it all just sounds the same. But now you got yourself a breeze that won't be tamed. You keep kicking me, now I'm kicking you back. No, you're not gonna deal me a hand when the deck is stacked. Oh no, 'cause we don't care. No, we don't care. I said we don't care anymore. So get out of my face. Just get out of mine.
What up, everybody? Welcome to the 6th episode of the On Blast Show. I got my co-host George here. Say hello to everybody.
What's up, guys?
We got a packed show today again. I have some of the tournament organizers from around the world to talk about what goes into setting up a tournament and to dispel the myth that the MK community does nothing but get shafted at the tournaments, to show that they actually do put time and effort into setting these tournaments up. Before I start the show off, I've seen a lot of controversy today over, I guess, it was threads being deleted on Test Your Might. I'm not going to put Test Your Might on blast about it. That's your guys' job. If anybody wants to confront any Test Your Might members on that issue, you can hit George up, or you can hit us up on Twitter at the On Blast Show, and you can basically discuss with us what you want to say. I'll actually invite the members and the staff members of Test Your Might on the next week's episode, and basically you guys can hack it out until somebody's left standing. I also want to give a shout out. The OBS stable is growing quite large over the last week. We now have OBS Salavia, we got OBS Guido, we got OBS EdFig81, we got myself, we got DarKNaTaS, we got One Man Three Letters over in Ireland, as well as Original Razor. We've added 3 other new members, plus this week, this past weekend, we had added Kfrog, who's from Trip Sessions, who took 3rd up in Toronto at their tournament this week. So that's OBS's first bronze medal, if you will.
Yeah.
We've also added 2 more Canadians today. Well, should I say during the week? We have Zaf and Jer from the Montreal area. And we also added Toxic from up in upstate New York. So you, Kerbo, he's got his sights on you. We're still looking for more members. By the way, we also got Rio. I forgot about that little oops. Rio will be representing us at MLG this week with the OBS banner at his side. Anybody else that's looking to become OBS? I hear Mr. Molina out there is a free agent right now.
You forgot one, SM.
Oh, that's right. And we got SM Swag as well that we added. So that actually makes, what do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. About 14 members added. And the difference is, what we're looking to do is we want to get players from all over the world.
Oh, you didn't say the Canadian players' names.
Yes, Zaf, Jer, and Kfrog.
Yeah, you didn't mention Zaf and Jer, that's why. You said Canadian, but you didn't say their names.
Oh, shit, my bad, guys. Now, also, because I see a What the F James, Sow87, who I did not forget about, I just didn't add you an email account, is also OBS. So that pretty much spreads us out West Coast now as well. Killing Nemesis is a free agent. All you guys that want to become OBS, you know, just hit me up. You know, I got 2 rules. You know, my rules are very simple. So I got to make sure I know it's Sow87. We need his brother too, man. We got to get your brother here too, man. But you know, our rules to our clan are very simple. Don't be emo. I don't give a shit if you lose games. I don't give a shit if you come in last place. You know, the whole point of this, is we're going to be the biggest clan out there.
No, not clan, group.
Group,
yes. Not clan. We're not a clan. We're a group.
hold on, I got one. Okay, I'm getting messaged again. You know, these things, this never stops. But basically, we're the biggest. We want to become the biggest group. We want to become worldwide. Hold on one second. You know what, George? Take the floor. I got to take this.
Okay, go ahead. One thing I want to mention to all the members: if you guys are going to be attending tournaments or events, please hit us up. Let us know what event you're going to be at, so I can put that out on Twitter and Facebook, and letting the people know where our members are going to be participating at. As you guys know, Guido just fought at a tournament like 2 weeks ago. Kfrog just fought this past weekend, got 3rd place out in Toronto. So guys, just let us know where you're going to be playing at. Let us know where you're repping us at. Just fill us in on that. Also, I have put out on Test Your Might and on Mortal Kombat United, I put out banners for you guys to look at or add to your signatures, whatever you want. There's about like 7 or 8 different ones, courtesy of Wtih from MKU, who's hooked us up with the graphics. So when you guys get a chance, please look at those threads. It was just recently. I put them up like about an hour and a half ago. If you guys need the links to the threads, I will post them up in the stream. But definitely, check those out. There's some pretty sick-looking graphics that Wtih helped up the head done for us. James, you're back again?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay.
Okay, so, like I said, this week coming up, MLG is having their arena. And you know what? That's all hoopla and exciting and all that good shit. But what the better part of the whole tournament's going to be is what happens after. It's going to be a drinking contest between myself, a money match, $50 money match between myself and Pig the Hut. It's not going to be, as he says, quantity. It's going to be speed. So, tonight my goal is to drink until I can't stand or until the show doesn't end, because that's how I prep. That's my leveling up for drinking contests. So pretty much after I drink my little my prep drink here, then I'm going to start my drinking fest, which should last pretty much all night. I'm not promoting speed drinking to anybody because, a lot of you guys might be underage, but, I'm more of a quality and quantity drinker. So pretty much what I'm going to say is I'm just going to give, and I'll line this up for you. I'm just going to give Mr. Pig the Hut a sample of what speed drinking is going to be.
Oh shit!
Done. Just so everybody knows. There you go. It's empty. So, Pig, you're in for a loss. I may not be able to beat you in MK. But I can damn well school you in drinking. Without that, pretty much, I think MLG is not going to be as exciting as it could be. Tonight, like I said, I got the tournament organizers that are out there. I'm going to reach out to them in a minute. I want to give a couple of other shout-outs to players. Guamo challenged you to the speed drinking contest. Well, Guamo got to get his ass down there. He can join the show. From what I hear, and I'm assuming that Insupperable is going to be part of TWS for the Clan Wars that I scheduled for September 11th. I have a special guest for you guys tonight that's going to issue out a challenge to you, and perhaps you might want to issue out some challenges to other people as well. I'm also going to have M2 Dave and Rio at the bottom hour. Because they want to talk to a lot of guys out there about the levels of skill that they possess. we should be packed with a good amount of stuff. You know, guys, like I said, I try to keep everything different. You know, I don't want to be that show where you're going to sit there and listen to 6 hours of frame data and Tom Brady scream how the game sucks because he got it nerfed and how everybody's a troll. So basically what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to give DarKNaTaS the floor for a little bit. I guess I don't know if you got some questions from people about anything yet, or I'm going to just check some of these updates.
Well, it seems Castleman is interested in becoming OBS.
Okay, so that's another one we can mark on the list here.
Yeah, we'll talk to you more in private about that, Castleman. I got your message on Twitter. I see it there. We'll talk more about that. Oh, shit. There was something I wanted to touch up on, and I totally just forgot what the fuck it was. Oh, remember, guys, we have our YouTube page. Check out the archives on there. You know, you got the YouTube page is the On Blast Show 2012. You can see that in the info section at the bottom of the stream. Also, don't forget to hit us up on Twitter. You know, with your questions for all the guests and even perhaps us. If you got questions for us, we don't care if it's a troll question, some retarded ass crap, or serious questions, whatever you want. Just
no censorship here, man.
Yeah, there's no censorship. Whatever kind of questions you got, hit us up. We'll answer the questions, read them over the show live. You can do that on the Twitter. That's the On the Blast Show on Twitter. Also, oh shit, what is that I wanted to talk about?
K7.
I know a lot of you guys are waiting, dying for me to talk about this fucking online fucking piece of shit for the Shaolin. I'll get into that a little bit later on during the show. I'll get into that. What was the other part?
K7, yes, you can't kill a man with a toothpick. Right to the jugular, they'll bleed to death slow and painfully.
Yeah, guys, also, you know, retweet, let everybody know it's streams going on. Shout, you know, direct everybody over here, let them know what's going on. We're trying to get this bigger and better and badder and stuff like that. As you can see, you know, shouts out to Radoshi for the new graphics for the thing that he hooked us up with last week. As you see, the new banner and the page design for Twitch, and we also incorporated that into our YouTube page, the new graphics, and you know, the new icon for Twitter also.
We're also going to be looking for people in the very near future. We secured the domain name, theonblastshow.com. Every member of OBS will be getting an On Blast Show email address. They will be getting shirts. I will be doing shirts for everybody. They're not going to be the same as the shirts that I give out, you know, on the show, that I'm going to be giving out on the show or selling. But, you know, they're going to be, I'm going to try to hook everybody up. You know, like I said, I want everybody to keep in mind, we're not a clan, nor are we a sponsorship per se, where I'm going to be sending you motherfuckers to England to a tournament or down to Mexico. I'm 6'8", it better fit, James. Well, I'll get you extra small. But you know, basically what it's going to come down to is I'm going to try to hook you guys up with enough goodies and stuff that's going to keep you around. As long as you guys keep the mentality that just keep this scene going. That's all I ask for. I'm not asking for you to let me do negotiations, nor if you turn around to me and say, hey, look, man, somebody else offered me, you know, $100 to join their thing. I say, look, if $100 is worth it, go for it. You know, it's all about the community. It's about keeping this community going, and it's about you know what? I can sponsor some African children. I also got 2 South American children I take care of. If they could play MK, I'll feed them some food. But basically, you know, like I said, I just want this community to grow. The Test Your Might / MKU. I mean, people have said I ripped the Band-Aid off or something stupid. But yes, and 1 man 3 letters. Yes, you know damn well I'm going to be putting up 4 on a shirt. In fact, if you want it, I'll give you number U4. You know, basically, what it comes down to is, soon as the emo bullshit subsides and Testumite and MKU and everybody gets truly united in a way where there is no more animosity, online, offline. Our real goal, you know what? I mean, now I'm going to sound almost Nazi-esque. Our real goal is not to, you know, just unite this scene. It's to unite all the scenes, you know. And it's a bad analogy, but it's basically like the 50s. We're that black guy that's got to sit in the back of the bus when it comes to all these other games out there. You know, we've seen that firsthand when there's Mr. Mike Ross and the other guy down at VXG who really had no clue about the game, basically came out and bashed it because TriForce had made some comments during the show. You know, it's pathetic when I see games like DOA or Skullgirls or P4. These games that are like, in my opinion, are the virgin games of the scene. You know, MK's been around for 20 years. You know, and unlike The Simpsons, or should I say Street Fighter 4, this game has evolved every version to something new. There's never been, you know, after 2, there's never been a version where it was completely the same. Whether it was the incorporation of the run button, whether it be weapons, picking up rocks, which, I mean, hey, wasn't great, but it is what it is. Yeah, I agree with Monkey Chime that DLC is the future. I mean, you can now put out a game and basically milk it to death by just adding characters, backgrounds, and music, and people will continue to buy it. So, I mean, $30, $40, $50, $60 game will now become a $120 game when you're done buying all the add-ons, the features, the perks, and stuff that they're going to start rolling out. And I believe with Injustice, you're going to see that a lot more. I'm going to throw a quick commercial on, and I'm going to reach out to the 3 tournament organizers right now, and I'm going to get them on. What's up? What's up? Let me add one more guy here. I gotta add one more guy.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's not here yet. All right, he's not here yet. The last one is not here yet. So, okay, yeah, you're ready. Okay, let me add one more. And where is he?
Oh, Shinblanka is here. Good stuff.
Guys, remember, give a good shout out to Trip Sessions. They're the guys who provide the music, videos, and shirts and stuff like that for the show. If you look at the information section down the bottom, look at the sponsor part. Go to their Facebook page, Trip Sessions Media Group. Like them, you know, share that. Let people know about that. You know, just definitely look out for these guys. They're up and comers. They're doing a lot of big things, and they're helping us out, supporting us a lot.
Okay, guys. I have 3 guys here from that run 3 tournaments, pretty much all over the world. I'm going to start with Rolando. You know, mention who you are, what tournament you run, when it runs, and then we'll just move down the line from Shinblanka to Neo Russell.
All right, what's up, peeps? Yeah, it's your boy Rolando. Most of the people here kind of know me from the Video X Games. Was the tournament that was held back in July, just a month ago. Infamous amongst the Mortal Kombat community, mainly because of the match between Perfect Legend and Gross, in which Perfect Legend lost not just 1 but 2 sets. So we got a little famous around the Mortal Kombat community after that. I mean, since then it's been a very big debate about the Player 1 issue, and also our, let's say, the Capcom community's interpretation of how that match went down. So we got a little infamous because of that, but you know what? Whatever thing we get is good for us, so I'll take it. I'm happy that the Mortal Kombat community has been very receptive of our organization, and you guys can look forward to a lot more from us in the coming months with qualifiers that we're doing in the U.S. and around the Caribbean. So that's about it for me for now.
Okay, next we got Shinblanka. You there?
What's going on? How y'all doing?
What's up?
Yeah, this Larry Dixon, Shinblanka. I run the longest running event on the East Coast called Final Round in the South, Atlanta, Georgia. We do it in March every year, so this upcoming year it'll be March 29th through the 31st. So this will be my 16th year running it. So
Wow.
there it is.
Neo, you there? Neo Russell, you there? Check 1 2 1 2. Where are you?
AFK.
Okay. Let everybody know who you are, the tournament you run, and some dates.
Russell, you there?
Nope, not hearing him. I guess he's
Yeah, let me hit him up quick. You know, basically, I'm going to start with you two right now.
okay.
We'll start with Rolando. What goes into setting up a tournament for you on a typical setup to get it, you know, actually up and running? Because, you know, there's a myth that's out there that, you know, and it's because the MK scene has been, you know, pardon my French, shit on so much by so many different tournaments, in our opinion, that, you know, we've kind of labeled you guys as these guys that are millionaires that get out and just make millions of dollars off of the tournament, shit on us and leave. So what's actually involved as far as the process of you picking the games, as far as, you know, getting it where, you know, who gets stream time compared to not getting stream time?
Mm-hmm.
You know, basically the whole rundown of what's involved for you guys as far as getting the tournaments up and going.
Okay, well, I can say that we're in a unique position in terms of I've learned a lot over this month, and over this month especially after VideoX Games, and now planning our qualifiers for next year, and also leading up to VXG, that the market and the way we do tournaments in the Caribbean and the rest of the world even is much different from the U.S. The first thing with the U.S. is, well, what I notice is, to me, in the Caribbean, if you throw a tournament, if you want to do a major tournament, you can't do it on a pot split basis. Or in Europe, or any of, I did tournaments in Europe, in Amsterdam, for example, and the 70-20-10 pot split thing is something that is non-existent in Europe, at least when I used to do tournaments back in 2004 over there. And VXG also, we find it's very difficult to attract people to travel to an island if they're not guaranteed how much money they're going to get. And I think that's where some people leave with sour faces from tournaments, because they might get the feeling like, oh, but I traveled all the way here and I just made, you know, $100. Like, what's up with that? I think it's a struggle for tournament organizers to do what the rest of the esports does, which is get sponsors to guarantee your prizes. It's something that I decided when I did the last VideoX Games in 2007. I said, you know what, I'm going to take a break from doing VXG until I get sponsors that can give us guaranteed prizes. And that didn't come up until last year. That's when we started back again, the planning for VXG. And I guess it's just a lot different in the US. For us, we are committed to always giving guaranteed prizes every year. Not without challenges. I mean, it is very hard, you know, because it's hard to look at 12 or 15K in the bank knowing that you can't touch it because that money has to go to the winners. But I think that is one thing that tournament organizers might need to try and shift to, the MLG model, so to speak. But it's something, I guess, in the US that's not as easily realistic. So I'm not here to I'm sure Shinblanka can give you better insight on that. As far as choosing games, that is, in my opinion, the hardest part of organizing a tournament. How do you choose what games are going to be in? Especially in our model where we give guaranteed prizes. Every single game you pick, you have to be very smart about it. For example, we did Street Fighter Cross Tekken at VXG. We had $1,000 minimum guaranteed prize for all games, and you know, we had to be so careful, and we're worried that, imagine we do a game and it's a guaranteed prize and 20 people show up. That actually happened for Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Someone won $1,000 in prizes for a game that had about maybe 30 people that signed up, as opposed to, Street Fighter and Smash Brothers that had over 100. That's the risk of doing tournaments based on guaranteed prizes, is that if the people don't show up to support their community and support their game, or if the game turns out to suck, either scenario puts you in a very uncomfortable situation as a tournament organizer. So we got caught with Street Fighter Cross Tekken. It had little or no following in the Caribbean, and the American players that came here, as well as the South American players, none of them really were that interested. They kind of just went in just to go in sake. But the Dominican Republic pretty much dominated that and split the prize. So yes, choosing the games, it's number one for me, the most difficult thing, because of having to do guaranteed prizes.
I mean, now I'm going to say, like you were saying about the, people walking away salty because they didn't walk off with $1 million. I got to say, just from the pics that I've seen of down there, I mean, for all these young bucks out there, they probably don't remember the show, but it's like going to motherfucking Fantasy Island. I mean, if you go, and this is the thing that I stress, I have never gone to a tournament, even Evo included, with the delusion of walking out with $1 million or a sponsorship, or, what my intent is, I'm walking out shit-faced, maybe kicking it to some chicks, and walking away with friendships. That's it.
And that's the thing. At VXG, we kind of offered all of that, and people got it. You know what I mean? But the problem is that to get them to come here, what gets them to come here isn't the process, the promise of what you say. We know you're going to get the chicks. We know you're going to have a blast. We know no one in the world is going to throw parties like we're going to throw, because we're in the island and people party different here. You know what I mean? The women are different, like TriForce told you and has been telling everyone and all the gamers that came here. It's a completely different experience when you're partying on a beach. When you're partying in an open-air club, when thousands of people that are not even into gaming, but they're just here because this is what we do all day, all night. But that's not something that I can sell as a tournament organizer by itself. The thing that really sells, first, in my opinion, is the prizes. That's the first thing that catches ears. So while the experience is something that everyone leaves with, and they kind of forget, oh yeah, by the way, I made $1,000 or I made $3,000. That's kind of the by the way thing, but the thing that gets them here is the prizes, which is why we actually ramped it up quite a lot for next year.
I mean, a suggestion for a prize, which I know you guys are kind of tight with the whole the tourism scene itself, is to offer somebody a free trip back, where it's not tournament related, maybe down the line, if it's connected to the top prize. Because let's all be realistic, the sponsorships for, and I'm not calling you grassroots tournaments, because grassroots means it's in the backyard. You guys are the established scene, and then you see a company like MLG throwing $35,000, $40,000 out in prize money. That's hard as hell to compete with.
Yeah.
And as a player, even as an older player like myself, if I had a choice, if I was a top player, if I had a choice at grabbing $35,000 and a big piece of it, or, a $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 prize, well, obviously I'm going to go for the bigger one, especially if it's done in a way where it's, it's economically viable for me to travel one way as much as it is to go the other way. I mean, I personally would say, all right, I can go to the island for, $1,000, or I can go to, Columbus, Ohio for $400. But I know if I go to that Columbus, Ohio, I ain't walking out with shit. You know, and it's like, now, do I want to really, and I'm sorry to all you Ohio folks out there, but do I really want to go to the Baseball Hall of Fame and watch an Ohio State game? Or do I want to go to a tropical paradise to hang out and have a blast? And for me personally, because my mentality is more about having the good time as compared to being one of the top players, you know, I obviously would wind up going to the Tropical Paradise. And I hope a lot more players out there will see that and say, hey, you know what? It's one thing to go to a, and don't get me wrong, I'm not shitting on MLG. They run a top-notch show, you know.
Definitely.
But
MLG is something that people gotta kind of recognize. I'll be honest with you. We take advice and we look at every tournament, you know, in the US. But the one that I found myself spending the most time analyzing in terms of trying to find research, how do they do this? How do they do that? Has been MLG, because they have a very complex structure, but a very sustainable one, at least outside. If they're losing and bleeding money, we don't know. But it appears to be very sustainable. And they're not scared to dish out the money, you know, and it's something that you have to be amazed of at some moments, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely. Let me. I'm not to cutting you off, but I want to start to get everybody's, you know, perspective in, and then I'm just going to basically go back and forth.
Sure.
Shin, explain to me like what goes into as far as you setting up your tournament. I mean, obviously, you know, you've been doing it long enough. You've probably gotten it down to a science, but I'm sure you obviously run into walls all the time, which basically cause people to bitch, moan, and groan like every other tournament out there.
Yeah, I mean, there's always things that happen in tournaments that you either don't foresee or, you know, just shit happens. But I mean, for the most part, that thing about people being millionaires and all this, that, and the other, you think that if I made some millions off one final round that I would be working again? Like, seriously? Come on, man. And I don't even understand that rumor at all.
You know, the rumor, I think the rumors come from Canon and the Evo guys, because they do their one big hoopla, and from what the rumors that people hear is they don't work. That's all they do is that one tournament a year.
Look, first of all, there is no other tournament like Evo. I'm not, you know, I don't have any, you know, dreams or gander or anything like that. So, and I don't try to sit there and analyze how much whoever made this, that, and the other. My main thing is I've never seen a millionaire that's done a grassroots event.
No.
If I have, I didn't know. I mean, seriously. So, to say someone can make millions, I mean, maybe it's possible if it get to Comic-Con status or something like that, but I don't see how that rumor can even start. Now, how much goes into an event? I mean,
see, a lot of people don't realize how much you're shoving into the event to get the event. That it's a give and take. You know, you get it up and running. Now you're looking to break even.
Yeah, I mean, if people think a venue in a venue like Caesars is cheap.
Hells no.
Exactly. Like, this is not the Bates Motel, you know. This isn't. So, I mean, I don't know, man. Some people, you know, just don't think. They just go off anything. Oh, my God, they run one event, and then that's it. So they must be, like, raking in cash and blah, blah, blah. Come on, man.
Shinblanka, can I just ask you one question on that? Do you think, because this is the question I have, since we're on the topic of that. First of all, do you do your tournament at a hotel venue, or is it like a convention center, or?
It's a hotel.
It's a hotel, okay.
Yes.
Now, Evo does do it at Caesar's Palace, which is a really excellent hotel, but I'm sure they pretty much fill that hotel up too.
No, that is a resort casino. We don't have enough people in the community to fill up that hotel. Let's be real. Do you look at the occupancy of Caesars? Just check out the occupancy of Caesars.
Okay.
I mean, really, man. Come on. I mean, just think about it.
Well, that's the thing.
Now, they put a lot of people.
5,000 people went to Evo, and let's say there are 2 per group.
There's
That's
a lot of
2,500
people
rooms.
Like I said, there's a lot of people there, and they probably had over 50% occupancy in there. But I mean, and I don't even know if it was that high. But even so, I mean,
I'm actually gonna check that out. I don't know. I spoke to. I'll be very frank with you because this is a topic I'm very open about. I'll be very open and tell people that our venue, where we do it, and you know, we're a tourism destination just like Vegas is. So I'm wondering if the model is the same. They're all competing to get the people to their hotel because you're a tourist destination, so people are going to go there anyway.
mhm.
So once you're a tourist destination like St. Martin or Las Vegas or New York or Miami, at that point now, once you have established yourself as having something reputable that will definitely attract people, you have now gained the upper hand because you can now negotiate. If it's not going to be free, it's going to be definitely a hell of a lot cheaper than the average Joe would get for using the hotel. So that's the only one where I think smaller tournaments outside of tourist destinations have that, but to be honest, I have no way to ascertain this, but I mean, I have a tourism major myself. I study tourism and recreation management, and from what I know, I'm doubting those guys pay for that hall. I'm willing to bet $1,000 that they don't pay for it.
Okay. Well, that's your opinion.
That's my
I have
opinion.
no.
You know what? I mean, one thing I've known, you know, as far as like quote unquote the Vegas and Atlantic City scene, they want to get you in front of the machines.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're willing to. I mean, for the amount that turnout that they're getting, because you got to remember, I mean, people were at other hotels. It's, you know, you look at Caesars. Caesars was like 4 beans a night. You know, so I mean, 35 people are packing into one room, splitting it is one thing, you know. But like somebody like me, I wound up staying. I think where did I stay at? I can't even remember. Not Harry's. I can't remember the hotel I stayed at, but it was Bally's. You know, I was like, yo, I got it for $1 and change because I got a comp card from my gambling days, so I got a discount rate. But you know, I mean, I'm sure they got to shell out some money. You know, they definitely. I mean, because you got to remember. But now you also got to remember, Caesars is like a different can altogether because it's like 30 floors.
Yeah.
You know, as compared to somewhere smaller.
It's 3 towers.
Exactly, and there's 3 towers exactly on top of that. So they have mass space. They might sell a block of floors that are basically given to Evo, you know, in lieu of basically, you know, the performance of the year before, and they'll say, all right, well, you pay X amount of dollars for these, we'll give you X amount of discounted rate, and then minus, you know, some off the top because they're going to say, but remember, we got 3,000, 4,000 people coming down, you know, 1,500 of them are going to throw a couple of bucks at least into your slot machines.
Okay, now. I have a ritual and a saying that holds true. I really don't worry about what people are doing and what others are like trying to figure out what they're doing or how much they're making. You just worry about your own event. You know, if you worry about yourself, throw the best event that you can, then you should come out on top. Worry about your local scene and grow it, you know, because those are the people that are going to support you through thick and thin. When all the glitz and glamour and money and this, that, and the other is gone, that's going to either support you. If you don't reach those people that's in your local community, now I understand when you're on the islands, you have a smaller community, that's harder. Or if you're in Canada, it's harder because the scene isn't as big. But if you forge your local community and grow from there, your tournament will be good regardless on, you know, of course, you want to have sponsors, get that money so the players can get paid, you know, but if you don't force that from the root of it, then eventually it's going to fade. That's just
Yeah, that's. I don't know. I agree with that 100%. You do have to focus on the games. The interesting thing about St. Martin, we're one of the smallest islands in the Caribbean, and one of the reasons why we established the Video X Games is because, you know, we're an island of gamers, you know, and we have no one to play with. So we're like, you know what? We need to get people to come here and play with us.
Yeah.
So that's where now we started looking at getting some Caribbean gamers here, and then we saw it keep growing and growing, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe we can get some U.S. gamers who want to experience the whole lifestyle down here, the party style, the entire event, you know. And that's where we did it this year with, you know, about 20 Americans that came, and most of them left here feeling like, you know, it's one of the best experiences of their life because it's so much different. But the point is to work it from the inside first, but our inside is so small that we still have to end up branching out to other gamers, so to speak.
Okay, I just wouldn't advise to try to compete with like Evo or MLG. I would say try to model yourself somewhat and bring your own flavor to it. That's what it sounds like you're doing. You know what I'm saying? But to outdo them is, I mean, I wouldn't try that. You know, I'll just try to bring my own flavor to whatever I did. It seemed like that's what you're trying yourself, you know.
But what if you feel like your flavor is better than everyone else's?
Okay, well, that has to be proven.
Like, don't you feel at that moment? Have you never had, and I mean, this is the On Blast show, so I'm being very frank. You never had any moments where you felt like, I think more people should be coming to my event than any other event in the world because I feel like I do the best event. You've never had that with Final Round? I can personally tell you I've never been to Final Round, but the tournament I've watched on stream and stream monitored and where, because a lot of Caribbean people go to your tournament, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and also South America, they go to your tournament more than any other tournament. I think even more than Evo, actually. And because of that, I've always watched your tournament in that light. And I'm telling myself, man, this guy can actually be the best tournament in America. You've never had that yourself?
When I was younger, I had a cocky attitude about me, but it really didn't go anywhere. I've grown to know that no one tournament is more important than the whole scene. We've had a lot of tournaments over the years come and go, but if it wasn't for all those events and all of those events, we wouldn't be enjoying the new golden age of fighting games, because there was a 8 to 10 year lull of nothing being played.
I remember it well. That's when I dropped out of the scene for that very same reason.
Exactly. So you have players, new players, 09ers, you know, people make jokes, this, that, and the other, you know, 10,000. I mean, it's growing from, I've seen it grow from 64 man to 100 man, and people like, whoa, that's huge, to locals being 50 to 100 now. You know, so there's no, when I look back on things when I was younger, you know, I'll be like, okay, you know, yeah, we run stuff, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? But as I grew, year 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, going on my 16th year running Final Round, I understand that Final Round is just one piece of the body of the fighting game community. You know, there isn't no, oh, Final Round, this, that, and other. I do believe that we have the best Tekken competition. You know, yeah, I'll stake that claim, but that's just, you know, our niche in the community. You know what I'm saying? Every event has its own little thing. Every
event does have something that it offers. I mean, that's what separates a lot of the, I mean, you know, a perfect example is, you know, for Rolando, you know, Tropical Paradise, great parties. Not to say and overshadow it by saying the level of competition is not better, it's improving, because, you know, in all honesty, you know, I don't want no one tournament to get wiped out because of another one. But we also got to be realistic. We're in a day and age where, hey, the economy up here in the States sucks ass. You know, people can't turn around. And, you know, I was going since ECT 3.
Yeah,
I've gone
shouts out to Fee.
You know, I was supposed to have them up here, but they got stuck tonight.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, my bad. You say ECT, not
ECT.
My bad. John and Joe.
John and Joe, yeah. So, you know, it's from there till now, I've gone to at least a tournament every month since ECT 3.
Okay.
Wow.
You know, and you know, I've gone out and when it wasn't, you know, the intelligent move to do, you know, financially, I still said, you know what, fuck it, you live once. You know, but a lot of these young bucks out there, they don't have that opportunity to just pick up and leave. You know. I mean, I went out. In fact, Russell, you there? Russell?
I don't know if Russell's
on. I'm still not getting your audio, Russell.
Do you like, what's your game, James?
Originally, it's I mean, my background, I worked on the first 3 Mortal Kombats.
Okay.
You know, basically, TriForce is lucky that I worked on the first 3, or I would take all his Mortal Kombat records. So it banned me from doing it. I did reach out to do it. Okay. But, you know, I worked on the first 3 Mortal Kombats. I've done about, I guess, about 20 strategy guides in my lifetime for Brady games. You know,
right,
I mean, I started this back in actually 91.
All right.
And... You know, I had left the scene because exactly what you said. It just got
stale.
Yeah, I mean, when they broke into the world of 3D, and when they broke into the world of 3D, it fundamentally fucked up fighting game gameplay. You know, especially with a game like Mortal Kombat. You know, you'll see a character like Cyrax, you know, who throws bombs on the floor, where normally you would trap a guy, but now all you got to do is sidestep it, so it defeats the point of the bomb.
Yeah.
So it really fundamentally wrecked the game.
Okay.
So.
But Mortal Kombat 9 got you back into it.
Exactly. It went 2D again. It went 2D again. And that basically, actually, the reality, the ironic thing is, I came back to beat the shit out of somebody.
Really?
Yeah, I went to ECT to beat somebody up. A guy that I had problems with. Who, you know, I mean, we've patched things up. Guy Summoning, who he's an old school guy that used to play with me back in the early days, and you know, there was a lot of shit talking that went on, and I guess the emo-ness kicked into me, so I actually went to the East Coast Throwdown to beat him up, and I wound up going down there.
You already beat him up?
Yeah. So I went down there. I confronted him outside. There was a couple of players, and I was saying, you know, you see this guy? And they're like, yeah. I said, good. When you see him, tell him I'm going to cut his throat. They were like, what? They disappeared. All of a sudden, I hear him coming from behind me, and he's on the phone, and he's going, what do you mean somebody wants to kill me? And then he turns around, and he turned the corner, and there I was, and he was just like, oh, shit. Hey, Jimmy, haven't seen you in 10 years. You know, and, you know, I said, look, I said, you know, my issue with it was, and it's all the scenes. It's not even just the MK scene. There's this mentality. I don't mind a good troll. Trolling is funny sometimes, but sometimes it gets to the level. Basically, the scene, and Brady gets all emo about this, but he's right in a sense. The scene cost me my job. You know, I was working for Acclaim Entertainment for 15 years, and because the scene, you know, what MK did for me in the beginning was, you know, everybody wanted fatalities. Everybody wanted to know what the fatalities were, and I work for the company. I can't share that information. So what they did is certain people in the scene called up my job and told them I was giving away fatalities.
Oh, no.
And now it was a matter of me, you know, once you could say, hey, you know, if it's just people trolling, you know, well, back then, pardon my French, trolling wasn't even a word, you know. You know, it was once, twice, 3 times. After that, after 3 times, even my boss got to step back and be like, you know, why is everybody out to get him?
Yeah.
You know, and basically I got blackballed from the industry for that. And, you know, I was pretty tight with Boone back then. And, you know, Ed knew, you know, I said to him, I was like, look, dude, you know me. You know, I'm not one that leaks out secrets. So what I had done is after this cost me my job, I basically set this guy up. You know, I had 2 guys that I used to run with, and I told each of them a separate fatality. And I said, let's see if these fatalities appear. And needless to say, the next day, the fatality I told one, the other one was doing it, and the one that I told the other one, he was doing it. So they all fucking just talked amongst each other and basically made me look like a jerk-off. And I never had a chance to confront them on that, how you cost me my job. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm working fine now, you know, but it was the point that, you know, you got a job working in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, or you can run fucking wire as an electrician. Which would you rather do? You know, and basically my dream job had gotten taken away from me. So there was obviously bitterness that was involved in that over the years. So basically I went to confront him, and you know what, time's gone on. He's got kids now, he's got a wife, I got a wife, you know, and it's kind of like, you know, once he said I'm sorry, it's like, what do you say at that point? Do I punch somebody that said they're sorry? So I was just like, all right, let it all go. And I let it go.
Okay,
you know,
you the bigger man there.
You know, but
Shinblanka, do you still play as a tournament organizer? You still got clients to the game? No, right? Okay, so
I haven't played. No, I haven't played in final round in 3 years, 3 or 4 years. I haven't even played. I mean, I made. No, let me take that back. I played in one Super Turbo tournament, but I was running it. You know, like physically doing the bracket, but that was like 2 years ago. And then at Alpha 2, like 3 years ago. But yeah, basically, no. I don't play any mainstream games doing final round. And now I cut cold turkey. I'm pretty much retired from playing, you know, on a tournament type thing.
Yeah. After a while, that's something that you have to struggle with, is like you want to stay in tune with the games, but at the same time, as an organizer, where the hell do you find the time, especially when it comes to January, February, March, and then your tournaments there? Like,
yeah, it's really, I mean, it's really not an option for me on how big final rounds become. I can't be sitting around playing something and then I got to put out 3 fires, you know, or whatever comes up. You know what I'm saying? I need to be ready and available to put out all fires. You know, I just can't be sitting in front of, you know, in front of a screen playing the game. Now I got a job to do, you know, and that's how I look at final round. You know, I care more about people enjoying themselves at final round more than me doing well in the game, in the tournament. So this is how I look at it.
Do you do commentating? Like, what's your day-to-day? Okay, so it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Where are you and what are you doing? Because
I'm doing everything.
I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I'm all over the place. I'm not just doing one thing. I'm going and checking on everybody. You know, if something pop up, I try to handle it. I'm saying that's pretty much do everything.
Yeah, I wanted to go. I will get down to final round this year without a doubt, and I will be going to VXG as well. I missed. I mean, I had done those Cantaloupe videos with 16-bit for that first to 5 they held in the room, and you know, I mean, I had bounties put out, and it's just, you know, work with me, and that's what, like I say, a lot of people they want to attend tournaments. You know, one of the problems that I run into is, you know, this online versus offline. I mean, you know, the net code for online for MK is just ass. But the point being, you know, the offline basically shits on the online, saying that, you know, well, they're just lazy. They don't come out. And, you know, like I said, the fact of the matter is, it's a hobby. And if you go into it with the attitude, and I've said it, you know, over the last 5 episodes, if you go into this with the attitude thinking you're going to walk off with, you know, $1 million sponsorship deal, you know, a whole bunch of bitches driving around in a Maybach or something, you're out of your mind. Basically. You know, it truly is, you know, like any basketball movie, for the love of the game.
Yeah.
You know, go support your game. Go to these tournaments if you can. If you can't go to all of them, you know, figure out which one's the better one for you to try and go to.
Exactly. I mean, it's really bad these days with your income and disposable income that you have. So you have to choose what events you want to go to wisely, and maybe someone can't come to final round. That's fine. We'll love everybody to come, but if you can't, we understand. Watch the stream, enjoy yourself.
That's.
Yes, Russell, I hear you.
Oh, thank God.
All right.
All right.
Let me cut you off, Shinblanka, quick. Everybody,
Yeah, okay.
I got Russell up in Canada. Explain who you are, the tournament you run, when it runs, and we're going to get you into this conversation.
Yeah, sorry about the mic issue, guys. I had to use my girlfriend's computer now. But my name is Russell from Toronto, Canada. The latest tournament you've probably seen me do is Toryuken. It happened on May. And we had Justin Wong and all the celebrities in our in our tournament. Other than that, I've been running tournaments since 2001 and just did a few majors in the last 2 years. So that's me.
All right, so now let me give you the floor a second, a little bit more. What does it take for you to get your tournament up and running? I mean, are you a millionaire off of these?
I wish. No, I have this thing called the month of brokenness. So on the month of the tournament or 3 weeks before, it's basically just whatever money I have is I spend on the tournament, and hopefully I get it back at the end of it.
Now, I'm going to ask all of you guys a question. All right? Why is it that MK doesn't get the stream time that a Marvel versus Capcom, and I'm sorry for all you Capcom fanboys, I'll always call it Capcom.
I personally like it.
That's a normal question.
Too many fruity colors, and in my eyes, as an old man, it blinds me and shit. I don't even know what's going on. I just see fucking, it looks like a box of Lucky Charms exploding. But, MK always seems to get like top 8 or less for stream time. Explain to people, and I'll go through each one, and I'll start in reverse now with Russell because he hasn't been here. What is the determination to get people to say, all right, well, we're going to put Skullgirls on stream compared to MK for more of this, compared to turnouts. There's obviously a method to everybody's madness of how they stream and what they stream.
So altogether, Toryuken was lucky enough to have 2 streams. I'll be honest with you, James. I actually gave MK so much stream time during that.
I will admit, yes, you did give. You had the first to 5, which not many people have done a first to 5 and actually stream it.
Yeah.
Plus, you did stream a lot.
I'm all for equality with regards to games. That's why I do top 8 on Sunday. I mean, I don't really have to showcase any of the older games, but I still show them. With regards to the second stream, again, I'm lucky enough to have a second stream where I can run any other tournaments that have good turnouts. I mean, I do base the viewers with regards to what game is being played, and MK is actually, in my opinion, 3rd place past Marvel and AE, in my opinion, at least.
Now, Shin, what do you, as far as your determination of what gets streamed, how it gets streamed, what's your decision-making process?
It really depends on time and size. But really, last year we showed the whole Mortal Kombat tournament. So, the entire tournament. So, there was no... some local guys came down with a 4G hotspot.
Oh, that was Medina that streamed there. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and local guys had the 4G hotspot. So I said, sure, go ahead, stream it off. So, there's no... As long as we got the time, space, and ability to do it, we can show it. But, we can't have multiple... Also, it all depends on the bandwidth, too, that you have at the hotel. Some people, their bandwidth might not be as strong. So, if you only got 6 megabytes going up and down, you can't have 6 streams on there. Sorry, And then there's only but a certain amount of time in the day. So that's generally how I look at it. I just look at it like, hey, if I have enough, bandwidth. If I don't, then let's see if we can work out some kind of other option. But it's usually just time, the size of the event, this, that, and the other. If there's, great matches to do, because everyone loves their favorite game and everyone wants to be on the stream. Everyone wants to be on the main stage, and especially on Sunday. But there's literally only a certain amount of time in the day. And you generally give each major event at least 2 hours, 2.5 hours to 3 hours to complete itself. That's just the longest estimation. Well, what time are you going to start? If you start Sunday at 12 o'clock, how many tournaments are you going to have before 12 o'clock? That's simple math, right?
Exactly. I mean,
So
that's one thing that, I've heard from other tournaments where they're like, yo, 8 o'clock in the morning start for our top 8, what the hell? And it's like, well, let's see. I got 12 games that I'm doing, and I'm all in the top on Sunday. Somebody's got to be the first.
Yeah, exactly. And then you got to think about it like, okay, some games may not even be at top 8. Like, if it was, 400-man, 500-man tournament, and you still got top 64 to do, then, okay, those games are playing. So they're using up systems, and then you can play that top 8, because it's already ready. Don't have people sitting there waiting when you can go on and finish, because the goal of the tournament is to finish on time. So everyone wants their tournament on Sunday. Everyone wants top 8. Everyone wants the tournament to start on Saturday. But
schedule
sacrifices have to be made for the tournament to run. It's just there's not enough hours in the day.
I agree with that too. Everything's just based on schedule, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And top 4, I would not do a top 8 for King of Fighters, that's for sure. That'll last for like 5 hours. I mean, everybody saw Evo.
Yeah. Well, Evo, Evo's thing, the myth is 1,000 people showed up. Yeah, 1,000 people might have signed up. Everybody wanted their free shirt.
That t-shirt.
But, like, they said 50% of that didn't even show up for the game.
No, I don't know about that. It was a lot of people in KOF.
There was, but I don't think there was 1,000 though. That's a huge number.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people didn't even bother to play.
It was 1,200 signed up. You can't tell me that over half just wanted a shirt. That's the most expensive shirt you ever bought.
What was it? I think it was $10, right? It was $10.
My bracket.
No. No, some people just. The rumor is some people just bought it for the shirt and didn't compete in anything.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know about that. Damn, I wouldn't go. I mean, I signed up for MK9, and I was like, yo, I know I'm going to get schooled. I watched like 5 Bala videos like 2 days before I left for Vegas, and I'm like, I'm going to pick the fucking the cheesiest characters and do my best. But, I didn't even know there was a shirt involved in it, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I wasn't, sitting there counting heads or anything like that. It seemed like a lot of people. It seemed like more people than Cross-Tekken. And Cross-Tekken had over 800 people total, 400-something teams. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you do with that what you will. I mean, I don't have knowledge
I don't
of
have
how
the
many
numbers.
people actually showed up, so I don't know.
All right, now, let me ask Russell, your tournament's from when again?
Toryuken was on early May.
Early May. Everybody got to get out to all of these tournaments, but I will have to say, hands down, all right, all you young bucks, hold your ears. Best titty bar I've ever been to.
So many stories.
In Toronto. The best. And I've been down and Shin. I've been down in Buckhead there. My boy owns a titty bar down there. I've been down to. I haven't been to the islands yet though, so I really can't critique what you guys got.
I was just gonna say, ask any of the guys came here about El Capitan. That's all I gotta say.
I will be El Capitan. Now I see questions coming across. You got questions?
Yeah, I
let
got
the questions roll
for the
out.
guys here. Let's see. Let's throw out a question here. Question to Shinblanka. How long do you think the MK scene will last? This is from EDC Menace.
Well, right now, I mean, everyone said MK was going to die after Evo, a year ago, and it's still here. I think the MK community is pretty solid, personally. I mean, there's a lot of community that's out there. I mean, people are like, oh, take this game out for Mortal Kombat, blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, it's still a viable game. I don't see it going anywhere. The fans will come back, just like, James right here. He was on a hiatus. Now he's back. There's other players just like that, too. And they have newer players. So I don't see Mortal Kombat going anywhere anytime soon. At least, it may go away on the rotation at Evo. Who knows? It could stay there, you know what I'm saying? But other events, other major events, local events will still run Mortal Kombat. So I don't think that Mortal Kombat's going anywhere, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they had a good showing at Evo. They had a good showing at Final Round, MLG is backing it fully. So I don't see MK going anywhere anytime soon.
All right. I'll ask that same question to Neil Russell.
Yeah, in my opinion, a community will die if the community allows it. So right now, I try to make as much tournaments as I can once a month with regards to Mortal Kombat. And my number seems to not be, I mean, I've lost maybe 5 players, but I'm still getting my normal 15 to 20 players. I recently had a tournament last Sunday and I got 13 players. And in my opinion, that's still, as long as there's a community for it, the community will not allow a game to die. And Mortal Kombat seems to be strong, in my opinion.
All right. Ronaldo, same thing to you.
Well, I think we also have to look at the games that are coming out. My concern is what's going to happen when Injustice comes out. I don't know how many MK players are going to migrate to that game. Are they going to look at it as a quote-unquote sequel, or are they going to stick to their game? That's what I wonder. And of course, I mean, one of the things people take into account a lot in the US is what is Evo going to do? So I think that might affect a lot of people as well, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, some of the North American guys can elaborate on that. But if Evo drops MK9, my personal opinion is it will probably not die, but it's going to hurt quite a lot.
Yes,
it also depends on MLG as well, because the fact of the matter is that, at least, like I say, in the US, it's not like that in Europe, it's not like that in the Caribbean. But from what I've learned, it does look like a game tends to die if it dies at Evo. I mean, Blaze Blue is an example of that, and a lot of other games that have been gone from Evo. I think the only exception is probably Smash Brothers. That's a game that actually flourished even after Evo dropped it. But that also has a lot to do with Apex. So I guess tournament organizers have a lot to do with it. Main thing, I don't know, like, you guys are the MK community. Are you gonna buy Injustice and stop playing MK9?
I think what'll happen is with Injustice, it's going to not only attract the MK community, but with the removal of the block button, it's going to start to pull some people from the Soul Calibur and the Street Fighter Capcom world that normally didn't gravitate towards the MK because of the block button.
Oh, you gotta remember, Soul Calibur has block button also.
Soul Calibur has block
But I'm saying, well, it's gonna gravitate because the combination of DC, which, sorry all you DC fans out there, Marvel is better, DC is ass, and Dark Knight sucked. But my point.
It's your show.
No, dude, I felt like I was watching a Spanish novella.
All right, man, keep on going. Get to your point.
But, the point is that a lot of the scene is going to merge because it is. Now, there's always a bias towards NRS. NRS, has this stigma of putting out a non-competitive game. MK9 obviously proved that differently now. So I mean, with the coming of Injustice, will it kill it? You know what? They're working on, you know, and I'm going to quote it as a fact, not as from a source. They are working simultaneous on MK10 at the same time as Injustice.
Oh.
And
that does change the picture quite a lot.
so if they're going to do it simultaneously, now are they released together? No, because they're obviously going to put more of their efforts into MK10, and they're using Injustice as a lot of tools that they're going to probably carry over.
A test model.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But at the same time, it's not a test process where they're just going to basically say, let's try it with this and see what happens. They're putting full support into this, especially with, I wouldn't be surprised, you know, you're going to see a lot more DC movies come out, kind of like how Marvel Capcom did the, you know, they incorporated the characters that had movies coming out into the Marvel Capcom 3. I see that happening more with the DC Injustice as well. So they're not looking at Injustice. I think what they're looking at is having MK9 and Injustice at EVO, you know, and supported by the community. Is it going to happen? I mean, the numbers that turn out to an MK9, you know, tournament compared to a Marvel or a Street Fighter 4, let's be realistic. You know, they're shy by a lot. You know, so, and now MLG does what? 4 events a year. The other 4 that they do are only if you make top 8. You're included.
Yeah, the arenas. Yeah.
So it's like, you know, are they going to put all their eggs in one basket? No. Are they going to try to still support it? Yes. It really, like you said, Shin, it's up to the community to keep it going. Okay. You know, EVO, you know, when, like you said, when they said it was dead after last year, and, you know, they made mention of what's coming back this year, and people were kind of almost in an awe that it was even brought back, because, you know, there was people saying that, you know, Street Fighter Cross Tekken is going to be the main game. I think EVO realizes that there's enough following on every game. You know, I mean, normally it was how many games in the past that they had at these events?
Well, they had a lot because it was an arcade tournament. You know, but as they grew, they had it shrinking. I mean, when you're dealing with 1,500 to 2,000 people, I'm sorry, but you just can't have every game. I mean, it is what it is, and I'm not speaking for those guys. I mean, I just see it as an organizer. You can't have all those games. And when there's not enough time in it, I mean, I know I sound like I'm repeating myself, but there's not enough time in a day. You know.
What do you think about holding that for 3 days if there's 13 games?
I mean, on our size, on a regular, see, I don't call EVO a major. It's beyond that. You know what I'm saying? EVO is EVO. We do major events. Final Round is, you know, one piece to the puzzle of major events that's around the nation. You got ECT, you know, you got what Big E does, you know, in all 3 of his events that people go to. Alex Valier, I mean, it's just all over, you know. So everyone has their piece, so you can throw more tournaments at, you know, more games at smaller events, you know what I'm saying? But the bigger the event, the more people, then the games, you know, you have 400 here, and it becomes time and resources. So can you do it, have enough equipment, and do it in a allotted time? I mean, that's all encompassing. So there's no way, you know, you can have, if EVO said, yo, we're going to have 10 games. Everybody that went to EVO saw how packed that ballroom was. I mean, you would need a football field. I mean, seriously. Because everybody be like, oh, I'm coming for this game. Well, I'm coming for this game. And yes, there'll be overlap. But then when you have an event that's a major event, specialists come. And people that come just for that game come. So, I don't know. They could do it, but they would need a bigger space. You know what I'm saying? And that's a huge, huge room they were in. You know? So, I mean, who knows what's in the future, but you know, MLG only run what, 3 fighting games. I mean, I know they run other games besides that, but it's like the fighting game part of it is only like what, 3 or 4 games.
That's hurting them right now.
Well, right now I can't comment on that. Maybe you can get Arturo, you know, or Carlos to speak more on the MLG side of it. You know what I'm saying? But they capped their events, I think, at 124 anyway. So
they do cap it.
Yeah. So an event like Evo would never really even happen at MLG because they're running on a different standard, different model than what the normal fighting game community does. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was saying.
But Shinblanka, can I ask you a question on that point? Like the different model. The reason why I think MLG uses that model is because of the success they had with StarCraft and stuff. Like,
oh yeah.
Let me ask you this: is it because literally more people in America play StarCraft than Street Fighter? That there's more prize money and all of that. That people will sit down and watch a Korean, boring, no personality guy play against some guy from Sweden in Rally, as opposed to, you know, a charismatic guy like Yipes going up against Ricky Ortiz, and you know, to me in the FGC we get so much more entertainment, yet our value in the FGC is completely underrated. I don't know if you guys know, but I also do a FPS and a sports game competition because we are a very broad tournament. But I noticed the difference is a bigger following for the FPS, but much bigger entertainment value for your fighting games. So why has the American tournament not been able to capitalize as much on that aspect and attract more sponsors? Like, what really causes such a major difference between the esports and the FGC?
Well, you gotta look at it like this. At least way I look at it. The way I look at it is, fighting game community is still relatively young. Also, it's a niche. Like, I put it like this. Playing video games for being a professional gamer or something like that is relatively new to our society. Okay? So, you have all the major games, first-person shooters, StarCraft type games, and at a lower extent, maybe Madden is probably after that, sports games and driving games. So then you have fighting games. It's always been basically a niche. You know what I'm saying? It's been an underground, you know, little thing. Like, until Street Fighter 4 came out, people was like, oh yeah, there's a fighting game community. They're over there in the corner. You know what I'm saying? This, that, and the other. But now we're finally starting to become more popular than ever before. You know, and it takes time. You know, MLG is based off of, you know, first-person shooters and StarCraft and things like that. StarCraft is the biggest game in the world, not just in America. So people watch it like a spectator sport, you know, and it just takes time. I mean, we weren't even streaming 4 years ago. I mean, think about that. The fighting game community wasn't even streaming 4 years ago. People were still getting, you know, videotapes and DVDs of past tournaments, you know. So
DVDs.
No, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, people were making DVDs, people were making VHS tapes of their tournaments, and that's how you found out, you know, that's how you got to watch a tournament if you wasn't there just 4 years ago. So really and truthfully, the fight game community getting into that realm like MLG is still in its infancy. in my opinion.
It's
It has
still
a lot of potential, but we just started this. They've been doing it. That's the difference.
All right, I got it.
Let me ask all of you a question. All right, now you guys have been doing your tournaments for a while. Hold on a second. I got a pain in my ass breaking my balls right now.
Yeah.
As far as MLG goes, do you guys see them as a tool for growth, or do you see them as a competition, a so-called monopoly looking to crush you guys eventually?
That I think I'm on the outside looking in, so maybe I should go first, and I'll tell you the way. I'm not an organizer in the U.S., but for me, like I say, I spent so much time looking at their model because it's so different, but it's also built on a model that's been successful for many years, which like we just talked about, StarCraft. To me, it's an opportunity for tournament organizers in the U.S. that choose to kind of find a way to see how they can integrate certain aspects of that to their tournaments. And to see if now the FGC is finally ready to make that step that is going to put them in the big bucks area, so to speak, where it's mainstream amongst gamers, it's you know, it's exclusive, people want to watch it, all of this kind of stuff. And like I say, for me, in terms of entertainment value, there's no reason why people will not catch on to watching a Street Fighter match than watching a StarCraft match. Even if the game is important, the game doesn't have the personalities, you know? So for me, MLG presents an opportunity for people if they kind of adjust their tournament methods and kind of go with certain things that they do. But of course, I guess it's up to the real tournament organizers up there to see what they think. So I guess we should go with them now.
I'm gonna add in here TriForce. We all know him. He seems to disagree with a lot.
You're goddamn right. I disagree with a lot of shit. This is crazy. You asked a question, and you said, well, Rolando asked a question. Why isn't the fighting game community grown? And one of the answers was, I don't know who actually answered the question. It's relatively new.
Okay.
TriForce.
Yes, I'm here. And the reason why, let me calm down right now. The true reason why fighting games has not gotten to the level it needs to be at is because certain entities do not want to share or give up a certain amount of power to allow outside entities that has the money to put the true production value and backing to get it to the level of StarCraft and League of Legends and so forth. That's the truth about it. In 2006, when MTV came up to us and started to and was interested in doing a little reality mini-series with Empire Arcadia, they were already doing something with PMS. They were already doing something with Jonathan Wendell, which is Fatality, who was doing the first-person shooters, and they needed something that was more contemporary into mainstream games. And they saw me in Times Square at Laser Park when they had arcade video games in there, and it was like, hey, we want to put you in a show. They saw me with the Power Glove. They was like, let's make fun of this guy and blah, blah, blah. When I explained to them what gaming was about, they was like, whoa. And I told them about the fighting game community. And I told them how the personalities involved, how fighting games are far more digestible to be on TV than what you see with any of the games that even Fatality plays. Because people would rather see punch and kicking than someone shooting, because sometimes you get lost in the explosions and all this other stuff, and it's kind of hard to see from a first-person perspective rather than a 2D or 3D perspective of two characters on a screen going back and forth. They 100% agreed with what I'm saying. This is Viacom. So I don't care who has been doing what in the fighting game scene for how many years. Your opinions are invalid completely, because we're talking about the business of evolving and developing the scene. And the people in the community do not know how to do that. They know how to do it from a grassroots community level. It has gotten way past the grassroots community development level. But the community does not want to let it go so it can blossom because they're scared of several things. Censorship, loss of control, money, all types of stuff. This is the reality. And everyone picks. I'm sitting back here listening to everyone pick around it like little bitches about the situation. That's what it really is. There are companies out there with hundreds of thousands of dollars waiting to see how they can come in and infiltrate and make money. Back in 2007, 2008, DirecTV came in and put millions of dollars into CGS and CGI. Millions. Listen to what I just said. Millions. They paid Fatality $2.5 million. Not $1,000. $2.5 million to commentate. DOA. Are you serious? He doesn't even play DOA. But they give him $2.5 million because these are the people with the money. Now, granted, it failed because they did not have the right people, the community people who know how to channel it properly in the right direction, which is the point I'm trying to make. If companies like MLG and their sponsors were to merge with community people like Larry from Final Round, like Rolando from VXG, like the Cannons from Evo, gaming, the United States fighting game scene would be godlike. But it's all about politics, backdoor bureaucratic nonsense. That's the truth. And everyone's over here want to suck on some other entity's ball sack because they want to make sure they're in political power. And this is the On Blast show. What the fuck is this bullshit? This shit is bullshit. That's what it is. And then this is the part where, like, see, this is the problem why no one wants to sponsor TriForce because no. The problem is people are scared. That's what it is. In corporate executive meetings, best believe the way we're talking now is how they talk. It's just not broadcast on a stream. Because the bottom line is to make money. Period.
That's the only reason that these companies go out and they shell out the money. If they ain't making money, then why the fuck do they want to do? Nobody has a goodness in their heart.
But they know gaming is the future. Gaming, you know what video games is to these businessmen? It is called technological entertainment. That's what it is. The biggest industry in the world is entertainment. Whether it's porn, whether it's TV, movies, documentary, whatever. Anything to proliferate our minds from keeping ourselves from real world issues in war-torn countries where people are plundering other countries and taking their resources so that they can stay on top. So that's the biggest industry there is. And boredom, yeah. So for them, they see the newest level, which is technology, entertainment through technology, and that is in video games. That's why Korea is godlike, because they got it right, and they've been to it. While America's sitting back here with more technology, more people, more money, more resources than Korea, but they can't get it right. Korea's got to get it right. That's why MLG is so smart to partner with Kispa, while everyone's sitting here dwindling their thumbs like idiots.
Yeah, but now you got to understand. Now you got to understand this. You know, let's say somebody like a Shinblanka or a Rolando or a Russell or a Long Island Joe. I got you on here.
Hey.
Okay, and Long Island Joe, can these guys approach these big people and get treated the same way as an MLG does?
Yes, we can. Look, listen, that's the thing. Like I say, it's hard for me to comment on this kind of stuff, guys, because I'm not in the U.S., but I live on a small island, right? And we don't have the resources that anyone in New Jersey, New York, Atlanta, Miami, any of those cities. The thing is, I get the feeling like perhaps the FGC has sold themselves a bit short from sponsors and just accepting sticks and you know, free cans of NAS and this kinds of stuff, when in fact you should say, hey guys, honestly, if you want to be a part of it this year, we need 10 grand. You know, and because why? Yeah, because we want to put a five grand pot bonus towards our gamers, which will in turn develop the community. Because yes, the gamers want to be rewarded. You do something like a top 16 payout, which is what we're doing this year. You know, but that comes only with sponsorship and to see what sponsors can come in and do. And sometimes you got to get really creative. The sponsors we have, I don't think anyone would ever have thought that these people would sponsor a gaming tournament. Maybe a gas station would sponsor a tournament, or an oil company. You never know. You send your proposals out there, and you don't just send a letter. You say, hey, can I meet with you? You show them a PowerPoint presentation, show them the videos, and sell your tournament as something more than just a little thing. Show them how it has grown and demand. Like, to me, Elijah was talking about this last night with TriForce in the stream. I find it amazing that tournament venues, knowing what I know about tourism and how the business works, I find it amazing that anyone pays a hotel to use the conference center when they sell out at least 100 or 150 rooms. You know, that's not right.
And I said to hold on, because I want to Bona. I used to book conference rooms for Goldman Sachs conferences, and if you book a block from a regular hotel room, you get the conference room for free. So I never understood how.
You know, the FGC doesn't get it because we're a bunch of gamers. You know,
exactly. They're idiots.
Come across as no. Listen, we are an event. We are entertainers.
Let me just add this, because everybody's had the floor a little bit. I want Long Island Joe to get his opinion out here. Long Island Joe, just tell everybody the tournament you run, when it runs, and then get into to what your opinion of this whole thing is.
All right. First, I want to say sorry that I'm late, and I want to say thank you,
No
Jim,
problem, man.
for this. My bad. I'm terribly sorry. I got to get up in 5 hours, so I don't really have much time. So thank you for the floor. What's up, guys? What's up, everyone?
What's up?
I run East Coast Throwdown with John Gallagher. We've been doing it. This is going to be our 5th year coming up now, and I'm going to jump right away because I spoke to TriForce about this yesterday. I've paid for a hotel room every single year, and I can guarantee you that I've sold more than 100 rooms easily by ECT2. 1, no, we did not, but 2, 3, and 4, we definitely booked over 100 rooms, and we paid every single time.
And Joe, I gotta take a flight to New York and do some lobbying for you over there. Maybe it's my silver tongue or something, but I'm sorry. I mean, you know, I work for an airline, right? And when we would go, we used to do, and this is Toronto. A guy from Toronto is here. I can tell you the exact hotel. It's Holiday Inn Yorkdale. We send 58 pilots to that hotel. We book 58 hotel rooms. We pay $0 to use a pretty large meeting space, which is suitable for a game tournament. We pay $0 for it. Why? Is it because we're an airline and we're pilots and we're professional? Is that why the airlines get the proper treatment, but a tournament organizer is bringing more than 58 rooms has to pay? Because what, are we looked at as we're going to make a mess of the place, or just a bunch of immature gamers? I think that is the problem here, Joe. Believe me, man. Then you need to move East Coast Toronto to St. Martin, because you booked more than 100 rooms. Dude, you will not only get the place for free, they will pay you commission for the rooms you've sold. They will give you extra rooms for you and your boys and your celebrity gamers, just as we do in St. Martin. That is why we can do the qualifiers in the U.S. and offer people tickets and hotels, because that is what we say. We say, listen, we are bringing exposure to your hotel. We are bringing, in the month of June is a low season for tourism, I'm sure, in New York. It's not December. It's not a special holiday. So it's not a high season. So they're definitely looking for rooms to be sold. So in my opinion, maybe the approach or something I'm missing here, but maybe we should really talk about this, dude, because I think tournament organizers should not be accepting that. You are doing a great service to that hotel, not only in name. The only reason I know that hotel that you do the tournament at is because I went to your website last night, and oh, that's where you do it. So when I go to New Jersey, where am I going to stay? I'm going to stay there. Mm-hmm. You see, so honestly, that's something that now in the negotiation table, you might have to put your chips on the table, call the bluff, and say, guys, the hotel down the street is giving me the place for free. I want to do it here again, but you got to work with me.
Yeah, I could. I could say right now, John and I have, of course, where we are already talking about. We actually already have dates for ECT5 and stuff like that, and we wanted to go to. Wanted to go to Atlantic City, but it doesn't look very possible right now because they don't think that we are actually big enough to take one of their rooms. But regardless of that, so we actually went back to the same hotel, and they want a little bit more than they wanted last year from us.
Wow.
They actually want a little bit more. Now, they'll do things like, they'll comp us rooms. I mean, Larry, I don't know if you have the same thing going on when you do Final Round. Like, they'll comp your rooms. They'll like hook us up with like internet. They'll give us a couple of nights and shit like that. But they're never, ever will they be like, oh yeah, if you book these amount of rooms, the ballroom is free. Not even has it ever even come into negotiation with them. And I sat at the table with them. The first year we went to the hotel in this big, big ass conference room, bunch of dudes in suits and some girl, and she's like grilling us up and down. What do you guys do? This is what you do. So everyone was a little confused on what we were going to bring to the table. So we sat down and had to explain to them what we do, and they were like a little shaky and stuff like that. So I mean, I guess maybe it is the fact that we might not be looked at as the prime group of people to you know, get the compensation that, like you said, the airline gets and stuff like that. But I mean, it's a good point.
I don't know, some hotels just think of it as a hobby, really. That's why they just probably don't take us seriously somewhat. But it's business. Business is business.
You know, I mean, you guys got to. What a lot of guys got to understand is gaming in general has gone hand in hand with Dungeons and Dragons, and nobody might want to accept it, but it's the reality. Dungeons and Dragons, comics, and gaming all go hand in hand. How is it that these companies, these major companies, unless they're involved in the gaming industry, can accept sponsorships and shelling out money and trying to help out scenes if they look at it as a comic book thing? You know, now that the movies are rolling out, like DC and Marvel are rolling out, maybe within the next 5 to 10 years it will change a lot of these companies' perspectives. But you know, as far as these companies looking at it as a and like TriForce said, at the end of the day, it's all about dollars. They're going to shell out what they think they can make.
James, this is the thing. You know who has the answer to all these questions that we have right now, and they can tell us with certainty, if they're open and honest, how to approach these hotels and everything with, because all the experience and all the numbers they have? Evil. Why doesn't Evil come out and sit down with all the tournament organizers and say, guys, this is what you got to do if you want to get that place for free, or if you want to get this, or if you want to get Capcom, if you want to get, like, share the wealth. You know what I'm saying? Share the wealth.
Hold on. But Rolando, I don't mean to cut you. You don't. No one needs to go to Evil or get any help from Evil. What I just explained it. When you go to the hotel people and you're going to book an event, you say, hey, listen, we're going to have a large technological entertainment conference. That's another way of saying a video game tournament. But you're not saying the word video games. It's okay. Here's a prime example. How do arcades survive in today? Did arcades die because arcades became obsolete? No, they did not die because it became obsolete. They died because the managers of the arcades did not drop a new marketing plan to sell arcades in today's time. That's how a lot of businesses die. They don't know how to change or conduct business with the changing times. There's an arcade in Denver, Colorado called the One-Up Arcade. They changed the thing into like this Barcade Entertainment Center where you can come, and they're hosting a King of Kong, Kong Off 2, which will be recorded by, which will be filmed by G4 TV, with a bunch of old ass men in their 40s playing Donkey Kong again to sell the arcade. You see, it's the thing you just mentioned earlier. These people are sitting down and they're putting together comprehensive business plans. With it makes the bottom line. When they see your business plan, they don't care what you're doing as long as it's not illegal, and they want to see the dollar sign at the end of it. When they see the dollar sign, if the dollar sign is appeasing to them, then they'll go back and review your business plan to see exactly what you're doing. Do you think they want to know exactly what is it you're doing? They don't care. They have things to do, people to see, food to eat, countries to travel to, bitches to have sex with. They don't care about your, oh well, we're gonna be facilitating an event where we're gonna be bringing in people from the age of 15 to 35 to play Mortal Kombat. They're gonna look at you, and in the back of the mind they're gonna be like, what the fuck did this guy just say to me? Now if you said, we're going to have a conference, we're going to have a digital entertainment conference expo here, we need to block out some of your rooms and use your conference room. Oh, you're going to have a digital entertainment expo, whatever the fuck that means. Okay, sure, blah, blah, blah. How do you think these guys do? You think if Nintendo comes to New York City and they're having the Nintendo experience, right? That's what they had here in New York about a month and a half back, where they're showing off the Wii U, and they need to use a particular conference hall. Let's say they go to the Marriott, and they're using the Marriott, and it's going to be a big event, and everyone's coming. If Nintendo comes to them, and Nintendo says, hey, we want to have a display of our newest video game system, they're going to look, and because they already know what Nintendo is, and Nintendo's an established company, they're going to give them the conference room for free because they respect the business, which makes the point that you guys are saying, where if someone comes in and you tell them you're running a video game tournament, they're gonna laugh and they're gonna be like, okay, this is a bunch of kids. We're gonna get these suckers to actually, you know, pay for the conference room. That's how I stopped doing that with Empire Arcadia. I stopped going to pitch for my own company. Now I'm getting other companies to do the pitch for me, and then I break them off a percentage of any accounts that they seal for me. Why? Because when a more representable business jumps in for me, they're gonna look and say, "Oh, okay," and then they just slide us in.
TriForce. I don't want to cut you, Joe. You got a split?
Yeah, man. I gotta get up in 5 hours, man.
All right. You know, like I said, you know, tell John. You know, I'm gonna do something else in another couple of weeks with this, because you know, and you know, everybody, you know, is at this point right now with the tournament scene, with games up and down, whether it even be MK or Street Fighter. I mean, let's be realistic. Street Fighter 4 is still not doing, you know, as well as I think it could be doing. But my point is, it's like what I really want to hit on is, you know, and I'm not shitting on MLG. I really want to wait for everybody to kind of figure out a way to actually come together. I don't think it's physically or I don't even think it's feasible, because there's such a smorgasbord of shit going on now in the tournament scenes. You know, between Big E, you guys, Shin, MLG, down in the islands. But there's some way there has to be some kind of conformity that happens. And basically, I'm reaching out to you guys because, like, you're the union guys right now. You're the grassroots. You're the guys. MLG gives away the big dollars and all the good stuff. But you're the tournaments that everybody else attends during the year. It might be one tournament during the year compared to them doing 4. You know, they say 8 with the arenas, but the arena only includes 8 guys. So, you know, to the average Joe, it means nothing. What is it going to take to carry it on?
James, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
To answer your question, let me ask you a question. What does it take for a corporate executive to come into the scene, get on one of these streams, or somebody who works, someone in the stream? You have 96 people in here working, 96 people in here viewing. What is so hard for one of these people to actually work for some corporation and say, hey, listen, I was on the stream the last time, a friend of mine's called MK James, and they were talking about the money that's in video games and blah, blah, blah. And he explains this to one of these corporations where they say, well, if I was to find a way to create a federation or a conference, an East Coast and West Coast conference, and how much you think it's going to cost to create a conference and develop an actual league which controls all these communities, minors as circuits that lead up to my world tournament? Did you know it's less than $5 million? Just $5 million. You know how easy it would be to walk up to a Long Island Joe and said, hey, listen, we would like to induct East Coast Throwdown within the conference of our building league that we're making. We're going to give you $1 million, and we're going to give you event ownership of whatever you're doing, but you answer to our conference and league. And why wouldn't Joe and John Gallagher take that? And why wouldn't they do that to Fuji? And why wouldn't they do that to Shinblanka? And why wouldn't they do that to Big E and everyone else? And then say, okay, our fighting game world tournament is going to have $2 million as the prizes in it. Boom, Evo dies. It's literally that easy. That's how easy it is to kill anybody.
Oh yeah,
money
is going to kill. Money will kill anything.
It is not. No one is invincible. This shit can all be erased instantaneously. Someone can come up to me tomorrow and say, TriForce, since now Empire Arcadia is the #1 winning team in the world, we would like to buy for $10 million. Can I still stay on the board as chairman? Yes, done.
Done.
Bye.
I would say I'd fucking dust my goddamn seat off for you, and I'd sit your ass in it.
Exactly. I'm selling it.
I'm sorry. You know what? Community,
Goodbye.
you could call me a fucking sellout. If you give me $100 million,
it's not a sellout.
$10 million,
you know why it's not a sellout?
or $1 million, because it's a business.
James, it's not a sellout because this is what we got involved in this shit for. We got involved in it to make money. That's what we're doing this for. When we were children and we had no concept of a job, yes, we were playing because we were children, because we were playing for fun. When we got older, we was like, okay, listen, this is all fun and everything, but this got to stop. Here's a prime example of this. Seth Killian no longer is a part of Capcom community. He's now with Sony. Is he a sellout? Is Seth Killian a sellout? Exactly my point. He is not a sellout. Seth Killian is moving on to grander pastures. He has to. He's been doing this for long enough. The community, the scene is never going to die. The scene is going to prosper. What's going to die are the people who are not allowing the scene to grow. Those are the people that's going to die.
Well, see now, like for me, for example, you know, I'm not a tournament organizer. I do this I'm doing right now because I see people pissing and moaning in the chat. What you got to understand is I ain't looking to make $1. I don't give a shit because you know what? I got something called a job, and it pays pretty damn well. I have no desire to leave my job. I love doing this show because everybody wants me to have this show on. It's my hobby. Exactly. Instead of wrapping motherfucking aluminum foil around myself in a broomstick, swinging it out in the forest, and other guys playing living Dungeons and Dragons, I choose to play video games. You know, I'm 40 plus years old, and I still play games. And my whole point is, the tournament organizers have that same mentality, but at the same time, it's investments. Now,
yeah, honestly, you know what it is, James? It's we as tournament organizers have not realized, you know, we've undersold ourselves for a very long time. And that's why I said, like, I took 2 years off. I said, no, I'm not doing VXG until you guys give us what it's valued, what it's valued to your company. You know, we had 320,000 people watch our stream. That is for an island that depends on tourism. That is a ridiculous amount of exposure. But that would also be a ridiculous amount of exposure for, I don't know, for NAS that wants to establish, you know, in a certain target area. If they notice that their sales are not as good, you know, 320,000 people knowing about them instead of Red Bull is quite a good amount. But when we ask NAS for a sponsorship, we ask them for $500 and a couple of cases of NAS and to print some signs for us, and we're happy with that. No, we don't really know how to value the marketing that we give to these companies as sponsors, and as a result, I think a lot of tournaments have been underselling themselves. However, esports has not. Like I said, in Europe, what is happening in the States with 70% pot split and all that kind of stuff, that is completely unheard of. In Europe, you don't do a tournament if a sponsor doesn't give you at least 5,000 to 10,000 euros and tell you, here you go, just make sure my banners are up, make sure you run my commercial on stream, and that is your prize money. You know, and you're still, what you get from your income is to cover your venue, and then you put that money aside to make sure you got something to say, you know what, my hard work of 18-hour work days with 4 hours sleep and 2 hours running up and down was worth it. Because you as a tournament organizer does deserve something. We don't deserve millions that people think we make, but we do deserve something. You know what I mean? So, again, it just comes down to how do you value what you offer your sponsor. And and same thing with the hotels. How do you value the number of hotel rooms you are making that hotel book to get that place for free? And I think as people need to learn these tricks of the trade, I mean, I'm kind of being suicidal right now, letting people know the tricks of the trade. I'm an outside in the Caribbean, so I can kind of do that. I'm not scared to compete with any tournament in the U.S. We have a different product. That's a fact of the matter. So I don't mind kind of letting some of the tricks of the trade get out there, but it is something that people just got to do. They got to go out and sell their tournaments as something that's valuable to a sponsor. You're not begging for money. You're selling a service, which is advertising their product or company.
And gamers need to stop being scared or and insecure about themselves being gamers. You're a gamer, and if, like for instance, Rolando, Shinblanka, Big E, Seth Killian, the Cannons, they are all professional gamers. Why? They are conducting business through gaming. That is what a professional gamer is. A professional gamer is not someone who sits down and competes. That is a competitive gamer. A professional gamer is someone who makes a living in gaming. Every single person who designs a game, every person who produces a game, every person who directs a game, people who are making merchandising, the guy who runs Broken Tier, he's making he's making money off of game apparel. That's a professional gamer. That's what the term professional means. So what they need to do is be prideful in the profession that they're in, and they need to approach these companies in that professional manner. Yes, off stream or on stream when we're doing this, we can all be unprofessional. But like Rolando says, when you're going to conduct business, you're going to these hotels, you're going to these sponsors, you need a comprehensive business plan. You need to make sure all your I's are dotted, all your T's are crossed, and you have to sell your brand, your service, your product, whatever it is. This is all business.
Now, my whole perspective, like I said, I've given you guys a rundown of what players that I've come across, and I'm not going to stereotype and say every player, but, I've gave you a rundown in the beginning, the perception of tournament organizers. Basically, in layman terms, or should I say 80s terms, you're the guy that was running the porno theater in 42nd Street in the 80s.
Yeah.
That people were like, yo, these are just grimy motherfuckers that are out to make some money, and they don't care about the scene. Obviously from speaking to guys over the years now, or should I say over the last 2 years, I've seen obviously that's different. To the naysayers out there, are all you tournament organizers, whether you had to detach yourself from the playing side, are you gamers?
Oh yeah, I'm a gamer.
Well, I know you, Russell wins his own tournaments.
I'm a gamer.
Well, we know you are TriForce.
Huh?
We know your ass is a gamer.
Oh, okay.
We know you've been a gamer. The only thing that's stopping me from taking your fucking Mortal Kombat records is working on the game. Just remember that.
Listen, I don't care anymore because I retired. So if you want it, you can get it. I've climbed the highest mountain now, especially as a team. So I no longer care. I am free from the ego of competing and proving I'm better than other people. I don't care. I'm so happy. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord.
All right, let me cut down a little bit over here. I want to get to a few questions that people have been asking over here on Twitter right now.
All right.
Monkey Chime asks, would it be possible for a tournament to run a council for random people to play hot seat versus online players? TOs, come on.
Sure, I don't agree with doing that. I don't really agree with doing that because you're taking away the experience, especially at a tournament like VXG. We don't sell the competition. We sell your experience here together with the competition.
TriForce, fix your mic.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, you got the fan. It's making
That's a fan? All right, go on. I'm sorry.
Yeah. What I was saying is, especially for a tournament that's very experience-based, it's about where you are, what else there is to do, and the venue and all of that. Those tournaments would die as a result of doing that kind of cross-online kind of thing. So for me personally, that's something the VUX games would probably never do, because we want people to jump on a plane and come here and experience the island, experience the music, women, the everything, experience everything there is here. So I don't know how that would be for other tournaments, but I think physical tournaments are still the way to go, because there's some things online. Even if the internet becomes flawless with zero lag, I think there'll still be a demand for people who want to physically go to a place and interact with other gamers and compete against other gamers.
All right. Russell, same to you. Go ahead.
With me altogether, I do sell experience as well. Agreeing with Rolando with what he said. I mean, online is good and all, but the interaction is what makes tournaments the best. It's experience. You get to meet new people, and online doesn't deliver that altogether.
Yeah. All right. Now let me ask you guys this: do you feel, and this is one of my peeves that I've had since coming back to the scene, online is the guy that's got to sit in the back of the bus, and that pisses me off. That really pisses me off, because it's people that are dedicated to a game, whether it's at this day and age where it's not affordable for an 18-year-old kid to fly himself to New York, to Chicago or California or Canada to compete in a tournament. But they're alienated because they're online players. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of shit talk you know, with online players. In fact, I know DarKNaTaS has got a whole segment we're going over next with some dude, and like, I don't know, what's he from, Greece?
I don't even know where the fuck
somewhere
he's from.
over in Europe that figured out a way to glitch the system and get wins nonstop. You know, it's shit like that you know, basically puts a black cloud over the online, not to mention the shitty-ass netcode of MK9. But online is just as much a part of this community as offline is, but over the years, it's gotten to the point where the offline players have actually taken an attitude of, you know, offline is basically like this cast out. But yet we've produced players like PL, Detroit Ballin'. I believe Pig the Hut was an online player at one time. Kerbalicious. You know, these are all online guys.